Yo, so this Age Evolutio, Soldier for the Evolution of You. We got Ton of Visions, a quarter with us.
What's happening? We're out here.
Yeah, yeah. We were just chopping it up about like just life and shit and like different types of allotments of energies you got and like how it plays and like how you construct your life and like correcting yourself and shit like that. But yeah, we got some it's like a not a head count in Hades type of shit, but it's like something new. But we're presenting art. And then in that we're gonna be talking about the transits that like produce that said art and like our relation to that space to show you how like astrology can be utilized as a tool to like kind of maneuver like your mental frame around like what the fuck is going on like in the world and be able to like produce something out of it. But like you do this like naturally though, so it's not like you're trying to do it. It just like happens naturally as opposed in conjunction with like the transits that are going on. So it's like learning how to track shit so that way you can like make more like informed type of decisions about like what is more closer towards like what you want to be building in life.
Real shit. I like to look at the use of astrology in this and the use of transits as um, creating your own confirmation bias, like finding your own coordinates or your own things to relate to that aren't necessarily built in the superficial world. That sometimes we allow ourselves to do things that don't exactly hit the point of our main intention or our main goal in life, and they're filled with a lot of denser, subservient attitudes. And that ultimately turns into a long period of time that you're spending away from what it is that you actually like to develop and actually like to craft in your space and for your spirit.
Yeah, yeah. Because really,
So,
life is just
my,
about like how will you grasp your own energy and place it into the different areas that which you want to do that at. So it's
right,
like,
right. Like we're just calling this. These are just different orbs of awareness based on different bodily mechanics and bodily functions. So when we reverse engineer this and see exactly where the energies were as we were going through these phases or going through these transits, then that's where you start to see the development of what was I thinking about, what was I feeling, and a lot of times it'll go even beyond the transits that we utilize right now. Like this, what I'm basically about to say next is you can even do this in the sense of like a birth synastry, kind of seeing where your birth chart came in relation to the energy that you're in today and see like, oh, that's the angling that I was making it in. A big thing that I preach on my page or my channel is to put out your own genuine intentions and your own genuine actions and your own genuine expressions, hence us displaying our art. That way you actually get the feedback or the receipts of yourself and you know what it is that you're, and this goes down into layers which we'll get into, but like that could even go down from you and being inspired by the feeling of yourself and going with the sound of the music as opposed to you going with, oh, I want to sound like Chef G for this song, let me sound like Chef G for this song. You know what I mean? Like there's just different layers to where this stimuli is coming from, and that's what the whole art of comparing astrology to what we are expressing is to see, okay, well, what was I dabbling in that day? And a lot of us already know it, but when we get so caught up in the day to day bullshit of the 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 Marvel or Disney maker that we call society that lets kids dream as such, you know what I mean? When we get lost in the bullshit like that day to day, it's easy to miss. Well, what am I actually doing? Am I just slaving for a check? You know what I mean? Because shit can get real gray at that point. So this is about preservation of spirit and accountability. And accountability will only be heard as a negative word if you're a fucking loser. When you're start being a winner of yourself and like you start loving yourself and applying yourself and making sure that you win in those little moments, accountability turns more into your bank account and what you're able to accumulate and be aware of as income and outcome of experiences.
yeah, yeah. That's whenever you like you would journal about some shit and be like, okay, yeah, I see some steps forward that I took, and you be like, all right, yeah, fucking you just get into
Real
those type
shit.
of spaces.
Real shit.
Bro,
Especially
shouts out solar systems. In one post he posted about the Capricorn season. He's talking about like make a journal like with your wins in it. And bro, that's like I think that's a good thing for like this time of year for winter time. Like
yeah.
even if you write down like something small, like small wins and shit.
Winter.
Just cause it's like
Winter.
yeah, real shit. Cause like bro, this is a time where like people get into like seasonal depression and shit like that just because like the whatever they've been feeding into and pouring into in their lives is coming back to them in like a sense of like reality check, meaning like this is what you've been like pouring into, and like the different like people that's coming into your life is gonna like just gonna be like showing you like what it is that you've been doing. So that way you're able to like see it and be like, did I do what I wanted to do this year? Or was I more so feeding into like some things that
Validation.
are like more like a constriction portion of Saturn as opposed to a building and like mapping out portion of Saturn. So
Right.
it's like shit like that.
Right. That's why I said the word validation is like you get constricted with Saturn when you know what you're doing, you don't ask for approval or permission unless it's like cooperative. You know what I mean? When you know what you're doing on your own accord and it's for the good of yourself and like in the truest sense, you don't need to bump shoulders or go get permission slips. You know what I mean? But on that note, I think we should do anyone that's watching this video, go ahead when we start to display our art, when we display music or play music rather, have a little piece of paper next to you and just write down your little victories that you've encountered this month. And when I say little, it could also be large, but really anything that makes you feel happy with yourself and present with yourself. And this isn't gonna be on like some love and light. Shadow work shit is going to be also in the direction of when you read back, kind of like AJ was saying, when you read back, you have a sense of accountability with what you were thinking in this current moment, what you perceived as a win, and therefore you now have something that you can. It's just types of data basically. Therefore, you can see when you're in 6 months later, you're gonna be like, damn, was I really winning though? Fucking bitches and getting money is that really what the fuck am I winning? Just shit. I mean, shit. You know, is that a smart goal? Is that a
Bro, that's why they be saying like journaling is like a good tool, bro.
Yeah, because like, bro, you have you're making a library and an archive of your own shit, and then you gotta ask yourself, do I even give a fuck about like what the fuck do you give a fuck about? You know what I mean? For me, I like to journal when I get on two sides of the polarity spectrum, like either super high or super low. Because when I'm super high, I feel like people can't really. Who can I give this to besides myself? So if I'm not making it into art or something, then I usually will write it down. And then on the other side of the fence is negativity. Like if I'm on a super low end. I want to write that out to kind of like experience it per se, and it's like BDSM in a sense. Like I want to put myself through that emotional turmoil and that emotional grief. That way, I can feel strong standing back up again. You know what I mean? So I want to talk my way through it. I don't want to act like it's numb because I think that's the worst shit you could do on either accord is just act numb and kind of let shit go gray because you're taking that ability to feel in those places for granted, and then now you have weak organs. You know?
Yeah, because it's like a lack of a presence energy. And we was talking about this off
Right.
camera. It's like
Right.
whenever you would go, if you do what Jay was talking about, whenever you go like interact with people and stuff, you wouldn't be able to connect to any type of high moments or low moments that somebody else would have, just because it's like you didn't necessarily be present for yourself within those spaces. So you're
Right.
automatically going to be having trains of thoughts of like redirect, like whatever it is that another person is presenting to you, just because you're not
You're
energetically
right.
attuned to be attuned to something like that.
Right, and then your negative ass, and I've been guilty of this. Apologies if you've been my friend before and you've seen this character, but you'll even redirect it in those lame ass spaces. You redirect it towards whatever the fuck your genie bottle is, or what the fuck it was that you got trapped in. Like you'll bring that up in the next part of the conversation, as like saying like this is why I'm not able to feel what you're feeling is because of this. And then depending on whatever ego you got in front of you, blocking yourself from that reality is how you're gonna treat that person across from you. And that shit comes off as hater, dud, like as put it in simple terms. But Dave B was talking about this earlier, is the energy of content. Um where it's kind of like biting your tongue because you're content with the situation, but you're still mad. You still think that there's so that like you're still buzzing in that space, but you're gonna shut the fuck up because you're benefiting off of it. You don't have anything else to do, and those would be excuses to be lazy. Long story short, um, and when you get in those moments and you want to start talking about those things, that's where you kind of just sit and shut the fuck up and really get inspired by a person. Be like, oh damn, you know what I mean? Like put yourself in the shoes of what you would have done, and then let that other shit die, because you're still getting a result or a receipt in that moment. You know what I mean? As far as you're experiencing the victory in some shape or form. Thanks, God. Thanks, all possibilities. I do see victory. I must not be a piece of shit because this person has victory in their aura right now and they still see me. So fuck it. Let me re rock my shit. Let me get the fuck back up and make certain that next time I'm in that type of space, I'm able to actually celebrate with that person. You know what I mean? Sorry to go on such a deep tangent on that, but I kind of opened the door, so I wanted to walk all the way through it.
Oh yeah, I fuck with that. That's like another like layer to it. Shit, I could use that type of train of thinking as well. fucking like
Shit, I thought you were just saying it. You're the reason I just said it right now. And then my observations of you saying like, nah, bro, I don't want to talk about this in this conversation. Like AJ will dead ass say that shit in the middle of our conversation, and then in that moment, I'll share a story about Peace Dealer too, where he did the same thing. But in that moment, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess we don't have to talk about that, huh? And we probably would feel better, huh? Like type of shit. And then with Peace Dealer, his Gemini ass, I'll be talking and we'll be I'll be talking about just some semi flunk shit. Like I'll get into like Demon Land trying to like what is that? But like poke around and whatnot. And then he'll do some like and then every thought that I could have to keep going, my own brain can test to be like, you know what I mean? AKA he was grounding. He dispersed that fog, that cloud. So shout out to the fucking mutable signs, bro. Real shit. I think Sag and Pisces might have it a little bit bad because I think we gotta put shit off first to get shit going. Like I know that sounds kind of cardinalistic, but what I mean by that is like if I don't express my Sag and I just always go with the flow, when do I do that? When would I ever just clear the mist after we off the cliff and be like, yeah, man, I knew our brakes weren't working, but I thought you had it, bro. That's some flunked out Sag shit. You know what I mean? I thought you knew your car, bro, so I didn't want to disrespect you. I thought you knew your car.
nah, but that's like the grace of Jupiter though. Like
Real shit. That's what I'm saying.
like that's kind of like in nature to do that type of shit. Whereas like the Gemini and like Virgo aspect of it, it's like you see like the road and like the road don't got no more bricks going down that way. So like, nah, bro, nah, let's fucking turn the car around and shit. Fucking
Yeah.
take a right or a left or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, fucking Jupiter got the grace of like just like finding shit out as like it fucking happens type of shit.
Yeah, I was about to say I will be the one person that didn't get hurt out the car accident type of shit. I had good faith.
Hell
Now I'm
yeah.
just playing. You said just be safe. You know? That was not a cosign to go be reckless.
You trying to get into the
The art?
presentation part?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right,
Would you like to go first?
shit, bet, bro. I'm gonna play that one song I sent you. But bro, I'm
Bet.
glad you told me that. Well, cause I sent this song today. Like I think I made it like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and like, bro, I was getting drunk off that song because of like I never like hit flows like that before.
Yeah,
But then
no, it
they
was
was like,
fire.
it's cool shit, but like a rap with more belief and shit. And I was drunk off the song, so I didn't necessarily hear like the types of places I could get better at. But then like, after like they grounded me through that shit, I'm just like, look at that shit, like, yeah, there's some spots I could get better at, and, like re-record this shit, and just like, but not only that, it's fucking like uh, it showed an attestment to just how I function in life and like belief natures and
Yeah.
like how I was talking about before, like having a sense of accountability for like the spaces that you're in and being able to take account for like the relationships that you have and fucking be present in that shit. That whole play of reality overflows into the art and shit. So by any type of art that you make, and in this case, talk about the song that I made. Um, if it's not like being able to be fully stepped into and present to it like what it is like truest to the space that you want to present through the art piece, then it's like that shows a lack of the other example of like you being in relation to things and not showing up fully in it. So that way, like the whole like the cup didn't get filled up all the way within that situation. So that way you have enough water to give to that art piece, so to say. So it's like
Mhm.
a lot of
Real
shit that's
shit.
charged, that's art pieces. It comes that way because it's like you had like a full fledged experience that like goes into that type of shit. Like you really felt every nuance of it, so you're able to portray that into like the piece of art that you make. So
There's
yeah,
some real shit. That's a whole gym right there. You know,
yeah, that was like
well,
whole fucking shit I had to learn and fucking that really that identified the princess and the pea within my life, just like fucking over different areas and shit, like how it relates. So, bro, thank
yeah,
you for
hell
that.
yeah.
Being real
No,
on that
thank
shit.
you. I'm inspired hearing you say that. A good friend of mine, once sent me a picture of a interrogation room, and he said, "This is what you're where you're at every time you make a song," and that's what you just said, basically. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
real shit.
it's yeah, you know, and I digress from there because I'm not gonna tell anybody how to be an artist. You just either are an artist or you're not an artist. So we're gonna leave it there. Look,
Yeah,
AJ just gave a phenomenal gem. That's probably one of the most artistic takeaways you're gonna take from the night, aside from all the astrological shit that we just spoke or will continue to speak. So shout out.
yeah. And then once you
That's a
realize
bunch.
that shit, don't be hard on yourself about like, oh, I've been fucking up, blah, blah, blah.
Right,
You
right.
peeped it, so okay,
Because
now go try something
because I
different now.
because I was
Go
about to
ahead.
say, but I mean, you gotta also give yourself grace. You're a visual artist first, and so you're stepping into auditory reflections that you haven't opened your eyes to yet. So I get the rush, bro. I mean, I got mid ass paintings that I think are fire as fuck. I say they're mid now because I'm like, you weren't really patient. You like got to the point of the nut, and then you didn't even make her come. Like, you know what I mean? You just, you know
That's
what I
really what
mean?
it
So
is, bro.
that's basically what the fuck it is. You're right. But you just gotta
Shit.
slow down. That's why you gotta know, like, do I really like what I'm fucking? Do I really care about what I'm fucking? AKA the emotions that you're about to put out and receive experiences of, or am I wishing out a fucking prayer trying to get money in my account? Which that's dangerous. That's what they mean by artists sell their soul. But I digress from that.
That's deep too. I don't play the song. Can you hear it?
Nah, I cannot.
Oh shit, hold on, hold on.
But the flows are fire. I do want to say that the flows are fire. I hope I told you that. That's why I said rap it like you believe it.
Yeah. Can you hear it?
Nah, still not. Shout
Why you
out P
got
Man Gelato though. P Man
sound shit
Gelato was
wrong?
who first told me that to rap it like I mean it. Bust it on me, baby, like you mean that. Lately, I've been deep in my entendre bag. Like, I think Young Thug might be one of the most spiritual rappers I ever heard in my life. Granted, I haven't listened to a lot of spiritual rappers, and that doesn't take into account any soul group members or anybody that's in this part of the internet age. You know what I mean? But as far as regular people, that man Young Thug, old Young Thug, I'm listening to him. I'm like, it sounds like he's talking about ignorant shit, but he's really talking about getting out of like hell, like he was doing Dante's Inferno right in front of us.
My bad. I wasn't listening. I was trying to get this shit right.
No, you all good. As long as the fucking chat heard or the video heard, then at least.
Then, bro, I got this shit saying that my sound is sharing.
Hmm.
I guess that button isn't working.
You know, worst case. Hmm. Worst case is you can send me the song and I can play it on my computer. Like send it to my email. Because it's not the best. Oh, it says start you're sharing computer song. Let's try this shit again. It
Yeah.
says there at the top.
Animals come out at night.
You hear
Yep,
it?
yep, I hear you.
Buggers,
All right, bet,
queens,
bet.
fairies, dopers, junkies. Sick, vino. Someday a real rain will come and wash all this scum off the streets.
Sometimes you gotta look at some shit like that ain't even
It's too loud.
feed into it any type of way. I feel the currents pulling me to the left. Take a look at my life, incongruencies assessed. Fatal battles will drive through the pages. Next I'm swimming. Do I like the temp of this water? I wanna practice osmosis, but you too cold for that shit. And that's saying something, cause I'm the coldest. But that's a different context, there ain't no contest. Moving chess pieces, my mind is on Congress. Prescribing meaning, get myself a doctorate. Friction like rainfall, testing the strength of my framework. If you put in the effort, it is what you say it's worth. So keep on walking, man, sometimes it's fuck the weather. I see visions of diseases coming from legions, and this be happening every damn season. You tell me you got something for me to drink, but all I see is muddy water. I'm hearing words say go no further. When I go consult my father. You really gonna let that dirty up the author? Despair connected land, entering treacherous waters. Picking, prodding, obsessive daughters like to feel life, so in the fire they walk through, reprimanded, slaughtered, tight shit goes broader, so I'm honing in despite what it is that you calling. In this life, all you got is your perspective, so I'm protecting mine like it's pregnant. No confines in the wardrobe I'm dressed in, so outside with the lightest expression. I feel the currents pulling me to the left. Take a look at my life, incongruencies assessed. Faded fatal battles. Do I like the temp of this water?
Nah, you're right for getting drunk off that though, bro. That shit's raw as hell.
Oh, for real.
Yeah,
Low
you
key.
you're right for getting drunk off it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. And then you
That's a
said,
classic. That's a classic right there.
appreciate it.
Real shit. I'm so serious. That's an esoteric classic. You walk down a specific set of streets, and that's what the fuck the intercom playing.
No, for real. Cause like, bro, during that time, it was Mercury was still retrograde. Oh shit. Yeah, Mercury was still retrograde. And so I'm trying to pause the music first before it starts playing slow
You know,
motion.
good.
You said I'm on mute?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but it was fucking, yeah, this is the right date. December 12th, 2024. That's when I was writing this shit. But
Hell
bro, it
yeah.
was like, I was reflecting on like power plays of battles and shit like that, of like honing into my own space. Cause I got Sagittarius in the fourth house. So Mercury, the sun, fucking yeah, Mercury and the sun was on my Mars, Pluto, and Chiron. So it was like really like honing into what I saw as like my best trajectories and shit like that. So I was
Hmm.
being met with uh like old patterns of like going with the flow of like whatever the fuck is like going on outside of me type of shit.
Yeah,
So it was like me attesting and being like, nah, this isn't necessarily what I want to be nourishing in my life. So I gotta put up like a stance that is going like as a protection mechanism to like go do and like build in the spaces that which I want to build in. It's not basically just about like self value and shit like that. And yeah, like during that song too, the moon was squaring Pluto, Ceres, and Venus in Aquarius, and then it was also getting close to Uranus and Taurus, and it was also squaring Mars retrograde in Leo. And at that time, bro, it was like the moon in Taurus. It was like getting so like emotionally in tune to like what it is that you're building in life, and then
yeah,
squaring to the Pluto, Ceres, and Venus in Aquarius. It was like taking into account to like different spaces that you be in, of like associations and shit like that, meaning like what you choose to connect to. So it was like having Venus and Pluto there. It's like a reformulation of what it is that I connect to. So I was in conjunction with like the retrogrades and shit, bringing up past patterns and shit like that. It was like a check in type of time to be like, is this really what I want to be connected to in terms of like my mind frame? Like, is me because me going towards a situation, it's like inherently tacking that piece of awareness onto my mind frame and choosing that as like a solid ground to like see the world through type of shit.
yeah,
So it's like really assessing like if these like situations outside of me, do I really want them to be like those types of anchor points within my mind and shit like that. So it's just like really reflecting on those types of things. So it's fucking like yeah, just like a real like type of song, you know?
yeah. Play us again. From your favorite part of the song, if you can recognize the timestamp. Usually, artists can. Um, you know what I mean. Usually, you got the spot that you like, but play it back real quick just so they get a refresher after you just said. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not on the computer. It's not on the
Oh
computer.
shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah, but no, I mean that's definitely what the hook sounded like, bro. And
Yeah,
then even the hardest, the coldest part. I feel the curse pulling me to the left. Like, that shit's hard, you know what I mean? Sorry, I just butchered the flow, but you know what I'm fucking referencing.
yeah, it's all good.
No, it's interesting that you chose something on this date. My visual piece is gonna be on the 13th, and much to the point of you asking yourself, "Is this what I want to do?" On the 13th, I made that decision. I use that 13 energy, but we'll get into that on mine. That's what I'm like, oh, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
Oh, 'cause on the okay, I'm gonna play it and
But all I see is muddy water. I'm hearing words say go no further. When I go consult my father, you really gonna let that dirty up the author? Despair a connected land, entering treacherous waters. Picking, prodding, obsessive daughters like to feel life, so in the fire they walk through, reprimanded, slaughtered, tight ship goes broader, so I'm holding in despite what it is that you calling. In this life, all you got is your perspective, so I'm protecting mine like it's pregnant. No confines in the wardrobe I'm dressed in, so I'll side with the lightest expression. I feel the currents pulling me to the left.
yeah, bro. And then even like on that part where it was like picking, prodding, obsessive, goddess, bro. Before I wrote that part, I already peeped the energy that was gonna like be for that like those section of bars or whatever.
Yeah,
And then I wrote on the side of the paper, I was like, okay, this is like speaking towards like Juno and Pluto natures of like somebody being like knowing the types of relations that they would want to build from, based
yeah,
upon like what they would accrue from those types of shits, but then also addressing the types of plutonic natures that would make you want to be attracted to said connection, dealing with like
right.
the certain like
Taking
trauma
accountability,
indicators.
right?
Yeah. So
That's
it's
what I
like,
was just doing. That's what I was just doing when I was listening to you talk, and I got excited that AJ just said something that has something to do with what I'm about to talk about, and then and then I grounded myself, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, there's like an actual event going on right here. Yeah, you're excited. Like that was like a quick thought, you know what I mean? But that's
yeah,
basically that's the travel or the real time of that muscle being used is your ability to be present, and that's why some shit like that is hard as fuck because that's what you're basically talking about. Is I want to be present and determine where the fuck am I walking right now. You know what I mean? So that's hard body.
real shit. And then it's crazy too, because on that part, I wrote that part on the picking and prodding part on the
Yeah,
14th. So it was like how you said you wrote about like the application of it.
yeah.
That part was like the application part of like the previous part of the song that was written on the 12th. So it was like, nah, man, I know what the fuck I want. I know what the fuck I'm doing. So like, why the fuck am I even kind of like paying attention to
Type of
that shit
shit.
over there, bro?
Type of shit. That's
Hell
real
yeah,
shit. And also, before you drop that, talk to me privately. I'm gonna show you some quick Sag to Virgo ways that you can make that shit hit even harder right now.
shit, bet.
Yeah, it's gonna be simple shit, but like, yeah, it's gonna be like EQing for anyone that's watching that's curious. So like, oh, what's it? We're gonna, it's gonna be like ad libs or dubs or shit like that, but just specific effects. I'm just gonna tell you like what each thing does, and you can do whatever the fuck you want to do with it.
Yeah. Bro, low key, not even low key, but fucking, you had sent me a voice memo before I recorded that song.
Yeah,
But then I heard on the voice memo you had like you was recording some shit too because you had like some like an echo effect on your voice and you turned that shit off on the computer. I
yeah,
was like, man, what effect was that? Like I was
yeah.
sitting back thinking, I was like, oh, it's probably this type of shit. So I did. I found it on my on Logic and shit, and sure
Yeah,
enough, it was like had that same type of echo effect. I was like, oh, I'm gonna use this for this song.
bro.
Shouts out.
Ask ChatGPT how to replicate specific effects from viral songs. There's a thing called Music GBT that's supposed to be a little bit more fine tuned in that direction. But yeah, there's already like intelligent library searches like that,
Yeah,
like to just show you where to find it. You still obviously got to do it like
yeah.
intelligently. I honestly wouldn't even recommend people look up tutorials for the details. I'll just look it up for what to start and how to use it type of shit.
No, that is a good resource.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for example, fuck, I ain't gotta go on that. I just found cash in my pocket. Okay, I go put it
Hell
all
yeah.
on black.
Reapings.
The casino been calling me. I did just say put it all in black. That's a confirmation.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna play your song that you sent.
That when you do that, will you also pull up the will you pull up the painting and then I'm gonna chat you. I'm gonna send a chat in Zoom of the two dates because it was like I made it. I made the song and then I made the painting.
Bet.
But
Yo, whenever you said that chat GPT shit, like
yeah,
it's able to like find the different effects used in songs and shit like that.
yeah,
Bro, I had a little fucking Jupiter conjunct Sun moment in my head, bro. I was like, man, I just figured that shit out just by like just like peeping it and be like, that's probably this type of effect. Like I could figure that shit out on my own type of shit.
yeah, yeah. Real
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say literally just be like the names. Like each place calls the same tool a different name. And then like depending on the KPI that they take to get that done, they got different knobs and shit. So you really just gotta listen. Like it's easy, bro. Honestly, I understand why people say that engineering is their favorite part because it's like that's the part that got you into music was the listening and making it sound good. You know what I mean?
Then you really like it's like a play at that point. Like you already got like the whole like structure. You already got like the whole like structure, like for like whatever it is that you're making, like the artist like laid down. Then you like putting the clay around it, making it like have like the right like shades in the right moment and shit like that. Bro,
Real
that shit's
shit.
hard.
That's what I was thinking about for music too. Shout out Domo the Pilot Man. He drops. I peep that he drops his tapes and calls them flight soundtracks. And I ain't never seen the flight movie yet, and that's where I'm like, oh, duh, it's densifying. It's the air first, and then it's gonna turn into the material. It's like the fire first, the vision first, and then it's gonna materialize. Kind of how crystals are made. But that's what you just said reminded me of that.
Yeah, bro. Cause sometimes too, like some shit you make, like it'll tell a story as like you just keep on making other type of shit. Like, cause it's like the
I
book of
used
your
to
life.
hate that. I used to hate that when I started making music. Is like I finished a song and be like, but I wasn't done with the fucking thought though. I still had shit to say, and I start the next song, and I start the next song. Like that's how mixtapes are fucking made. Real shit.
Yeah,
This shit's inspiring me though. Your song is fire. That shit got dope in it. I'm about to go make some music right after this.
yeah, hell yeah. That's what art is for, bro.
Yeah, real shit. Exactly.
You hear that?
Hey, 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 hey,
Yeah.
hey, hey, hi, hey. She say, can you walk and talk at the same time? Change minds, out having the blast the last grapevine. Dying nices, dying vices, ripping hard to great minds. Got a full of fruit juice, thinking I should take mine. What do you do when the whole world over you? Noble cause, because of pain, said we overdo. Shut the fuck up and smile more. Trying is a dying sport, I'm ahead of lion's doors. Open gates of hell and settle well. We got a lot of shores, abiding by the moment. I don't vote, I think it's kind of a sore topic. Nonsense gets regurgitated, reverberated, heard okay, I think I got it. I comply for sake of conversations, but afterwards the gossip starts to sound like constipation. Beat around the bush, we only here for obligations. Tired of waiting, head so fixed, stone flying, not untying waist. Need to read a book, not for the words, but more for comfort sake. At least the chapters added some, more than the title page. Hey, more than the title page. I just wrote that 16 in 5 minutes and I almost ran a tweet about it. Coach D echoed selling, don't talk, just be about it. Reminisce the days, but I know shade is just from being cloudy. Don't talk, just be about it. Don't talk, just be about it. What they wanna do while they go out and eat in silence. Greedy bashers, leaving us in single files. Crabs and lobsters, prepped by the pedophiles. Fucking bastards, told you I'm a tad bitter. I got high off my swords like a fabulous. Pressure had me feeling like a mad fibber. Let my eve go, now I'm stranded, just ad-libbing. I'm not mad at the circumstance, I just wish I had another perfect glance at you. She said, can you walk and talk at the same time? She said, can you talk and walk at the same time? Eat up these seeds, get a drink quick. I'm getting lost on grapevine, say. I wanna take mine. I wanna take mine. I just wanna take flight. Hey, this another great flight.
She said, "Can you walk and talk at the same time?" Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, I was
dun.
getting like a elegance of like elegance and refinement type of shit. So it's just
Yeah,
like a you really hit the you really got it with the painting. It was just like I was seeing
yeah.
squiggles while like that shit was going on. Like
Thank you.
like it's like a honing in of shit.
Thank you. Yeah, no, the Japanese is to be restored. So my use of the song, it was based on real circumstances, and then what I'm looking at is how this is just an exfoliation or a manifestation of what I'm doing in my mind internally, and then I'm just meeting people who are doing things to meet me in these points, and you know what I mean. So it was like real love situations, but or situation, and then put into the context of how I treat myself of having when I'm a Pluto influenced person. This is in Libra season, so I'll get into this in a second. The chart that we have, um, but this is when I made the song itself. I have a Pluto influence and a Chiron influence directly conjunct my sun, like 2 degrees both ways. And what you call it? Uh when you have shit, I was just going somewhere with that. When you have Pluto influences on you, you're looking at like common denominators or princess and the peas type of shit. And so what that comes when you have experiences with like early trauma. There we go. I remember now. When you have circumstances with like early trauma, ain't that weird? I just blubbered in the fucking dark, but I was on point at the same time, landed at the same point. That's a different topic. I'm gonna have to meditate on that shit. But that's a weird thing. But anyways, I'm not gonna look for another excuse to get distracted right now. Um, or when you have Pluto influences and you're subjective to power and control issues, and you build some type of identity or perception on life through an event that's like a princess in the P, aka some trauma, some PTSD that you're not addressing because for you, you're the one who is impacted directly by it. So we have a lot of people that live in ignorance day to day. They live in mellowness and they don't understand why they're necessarily mellows because they're more so observing the byproducts of bad occurrences. They weren't necessarily directly affected by it, but they're being directed secondhand, like secondhand smoke, by seeing the shit that is now festering in people who aren't being like advocated for or expressing like the actual side of what has occurred in their circumstances, right? And then is even furthermore stuff like that can even get utilized in like again it's power and control. So stuff like that can be utilized in realms of like finances and making money or pandering or whatever the fuck like we see used with philosophy and religions and shit like that nowadays. So what it was for me was this was me realizing like the whole reason what my heart wanted in that moment wasn't at pace with where I actually my heart actually was is because I wasn't walking and talking. I was getting lost on these non-linear events that the orb would come back, and because I had no resolution, I would stop moving, and that was what I used as my key or my identity recognizer of what am I actually on par with, what's actually for me, what is my real reflection, and it's how am I being able to walk and talk at the same time, how am I able to show up to the boardroom and actually leave the boardroom with plans, execute, and then return to the boardroom with the product, and then build in there. You know what I mean? And actually develop the story, or am I getting into things that are more outside of myself, which this was written in Libra season. So you can see we had Libra and Juno. Where's Lilith at?
I think I got it pulled up. I added to it.
Oh man, I'm about to say I'm pretty sure she's in that neighborhood too. And that was this is basically me realizing
Yeah,
I
Lilith, you
man
have
yeah,
Mercury.
this was me. I've by then I'd already went through Virgo season, so I'm now in the second house of Virgo. Now Libra in the first house. I'm identifying what I was making my values of that I was going through the devil in the details and trying to fine tune myself with during that Virgo season. Then we moved to Libra season, and I'm like, oh damn, those tools are really just reflections of what I even made important in the first place, what I was even related to or using as my sense of equilibrium or balance in the first place. And Lilith is a energy that's notorious for your vulnerable, like your vulnerable side, where this could sometimes get a bad rep because some people we don't know how to act when we're vulnerable. We don't know what to do or what's okay. We have fear mongering tactics all fucking bombarding us 24/7. You know what I mean? So in this moment, this is where I was kind of like, okay, well, I could sit here and be in the. You notice my voice is a little whiny, and this I wasn't trying to do this, but that's just the energy I was in. It was like the masculine side of me was being more whiny, and then every time I would say, "She said," that was her having to fucking grab me by the shoulders and being like, "Bro, like, do you like feeling this way? Is this really where our trajectory is going, or can you keep moving? You're gonna get buried in time, basically, and be a walking version of your princess and the pea, and that's like bitterness and spitefulness. So, that's why when you move on to the painting, will you show the painting? You see the colors actually begin to blend when we're in when we're viewing the painting. The colors will blend. Duh. I mean, it's black and white, like we see blended all the time, but what this was is it was me being in the background. I painted this in like legit 5 minutes. Like, duh, I know it kind of looked like it, but you get what I mean. Like, there was not a lot of thought put into this. Is what I'm saying. I had the feeling. I drew like a Christmas tree kind of shape, a triangle shape with the black triangle. I realized that the shape was already in the head, like format. I was like, oh, that's gonna be me. And then I put the white dot, and that was the surrounding environment's grace, the surrounding environment's white magic, the the I wanted to make a joke, but I don't want to divert from the point. Um, the actual, uh, no matter what the fuck angle I could take, whatever white angle I could take that logically came and touched me where I was at, I had like some defeated excuse to be lazy that I would try to blend and merge into that whiteness, into that angelic space, and try to tame it or make it heavy instead of rising to the occasion. You know what I mean? So my arms are up. My arms are lifted in this situation. It's like I'm actually activated again. I'm actually engaged on the masculine side of that character, that internal energy within myself. And then the white energy is staying exactly where it was. But then that's where the words above the head is to be restored. And I put the red up to the top, so like in the higher parts of the chakra, because it's making that the focal point is to address the root of your circumstances, address the root of your feeling, and bring that restoration to that energy. You know what I mean? Don't try to override it, raise it, uplift it, which
Yeah,
it can be seen as demonic. You know how people just be stupid when they talk about spiritual shit, so they think everything has like a up down left right to it. So like you know what I mean? Like, oh, this star must be the bad thing. This star must be the good thing. This, you know what I mean? Like,
that's really that shit. Though what you're talking about, like rising to that occasion, because
yeah,
it's like, bro, I've been in that space too, where like utilize like some new form of logic, that, like it sound logic, but for some like type of like devious type of shit that I was already in before, like trying
right.
to make like that logic be like a type of ego or some shit, and be like, nah, there ain't nothing wrong with this. You see what this is doing, but then
And
but
that's
you
why it turns gray. Real
you trying to
shit.
blend the two.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the gray energy is just like the gray of it all, like where everything blends. Anyways, the gray area. You know what I mean? Gray is like the parts of life that just is. So Saturn is a gray energy because we're talking about time. You know what I mean? But my bad, I didn't mean to derail. I was just
It's like because that's like the child that's produced from that play. The gray is the child produced from that play, and then the gray is like a fucking like lackluster type of color, and like it takes you to like a blank space, so to say. So it's like by merging those two together, it's like a sense of like the fucked up whatever type of emotional space that somebody would be in, and then the logic that they're trying to use as like a sense of ego that's like fucking trying to justify that space. It's
right.
like it just creates like a whole bunch of nothing basically.
That's why I made the feminine the white. Is it was an emotion. I was trying to like see a certain feeling in front of me. and therefore I was just instead of just embodying the feeling, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you could also interpret it as that's what that picture is we're merging as one, we're embodying, we're restoring the feminine and masculine. I just feel like I've heard that trope many times, so I wanted to give my first explanation before I concluded with that. But uh, yeah, man, I thought that shit was dope. I made that on December 13th, so a lot of what AJ was saying about his art piece, this is the day after. So I very much felt what you were feeling in the sense of realizing what the fuck it is that's worth going towards, or kind of realizing that you're maybe not doing what the fuck is your true vision or your true identity. This is a Sag season. I don't know if you put up the chart yet. It hasn't.
Um,
Oh, my bad. I thought that's what you're doing because I saw there was like movement on the screen. That wasn't like my underhand way of asking you to put the
it's
chart
all
on the
good.
screen.
I was already doing it. It's up there right
Yeah,
now.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, all right, hell yeah. Um, but yeah, Sun and Sag. So it's like I was kind of already in the point of thinking, what the fuck am I doing? This is the full moon time too. I was already kind of in the point of thinking like, what the fuck am I doing with my energy? What the fuck am I doing with um that was like the theme of Sad Seasons. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Oh, that's what the fuck I'm doing. Oh, that's why that's happening. Oh, I could just move. Oh, like, you know what I mean? Like just people. What are the array or the gridding system of my consciousness is as far as my awareness, you know? And at that moment, it was like, okay, well, you gotta kind of be about it too. So I woke up in the morning. I was like, okay, spur of the moment, we're gonna upload a song. And then I was like, oh shit, I can't upload a song without cover art. So that was the painting.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I really didn't even want to think too much of it. I just wanted to make the space, which is that I'm telling you that almost full moony energy that we're seeing with the moon being in Taurus during that day, getting close to the Gemini. Plus that's the morning time, yeah, yeah. So it'll probably slit its ass over there by the end of the day.
yeah. But then too, that's like that same space I was talking about before, where like that morning Taurus and by the Uranus is like feeling into what it is that you like actually doing with your space.
Yeah,
Bro, that shit went hard, bro. This shit.
yeah. Oh, no, I love those transits. To be honest with you, that's where my Saturn is in that place. So it's like our whole generation is like you're when Dolo and other teachers be like you get lit off of being yourself. When any individual astrologist or anyone that tells you like being your true authentic self is how you get lit and not sacrificing that, like with Uranus being on our Saturn in the Taurus and Saturn generation, like that's exactly what the fuck that means. Like you're literally the proof of that. You're the you're the walking testament as to why the rest of these generations have the agreements in their mind that that's a good quality. Like your life was the example is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? So you can make it the actual example too, or you could just say in like a pseudo relatability side that astrology provides us to realize like we're all one for one, yada yada yada. You know, kumbaya, Brahma. No, just kidding.
Saying that with the Saturn and Uranus talk about like being able to take that Uranian quality and imbue it into like how you see reality and shit, like how you move, maneuver and shit like that. Or are you
you
coming
said
at it from a different angle?
you said Uranus in what? I'm sorry.
The transit Uranus being on the Saturn and Taurus, or for people that are born in that
Right, right,
generation.
right, 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 right. Like you're seeing the results of your own individuality and what is building up for yourself, and that's how you get rich is by genuinely just being yourself and embracing the fundamentals of your own reality. You know what I mean? And there's people literally getting famous because they change in their mirror and they record it while they do it. Like,
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
and
Shit, I
we
can't wait
all
for
have
my
that
time,
energy.
bro.
You said what?
Like, I can't wait for my time once Uranus
Yeah,
hit
yeah,
Gemini,
no,
bro.
real shit, real shit. I see it as like I don't think it's just that, to be honest. I just think I'm just saying like how to build is by building off your individuality, you know what I mean? And like I want to say that's just like the best alignment to do it. But I mean it's really just I was seeing
Work
like
to it though, like
yeah,
like
it do. I was saying like fame is like a byproduct of you just being like responsible for your experience. Because if you set a good standard, people are gonna be likely to remember you. And so we're talking about memorability here. Like that's real. What people talk about when they start geeking or getting like obsessed with fame, that's what they really want to feel is just being memorable. And so it's like, okay, how do you do that? You impact the people around you. How do you impact the people around you? Oh shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I saw whenever you said get lit as just like a form of like a internal litness, like you just think you're lit type of shit. So like you're acting like it. So like that's
yeah,
what it is type of shit. That's like what you see, bro. Cause I've been seeing like some shit like on like on Instagram threads. It's like just my algorithm and shit. It was talking about
yeah,
like this girl. She has like an account like based upon like arrow stuff, just like getting like really like in love with your life and shit like that, and like being like
yeah,
enamored with it. And like, bro, whenever he was talking about like the Uranus and the Saturn space, like getting lit off of that and like being able to bring that sense of individuality through your fucking the way you structure reality and like how you see that shit. But that's
yeah,
what I was thinking about. Just like really getting enamored in that space and being like, yeah, this is what I do type of shit.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
bro.
I'm excited for.
Yeah, I'm about to say, bro. You're again. You're right to be excited. You're right to be geeked. That shit gonna hit nice.
And like, yeah,
Real shit. Real shit.
bro, fucking Sag season. You said it was like we're trying stuff out. I saw it like well maybe you didn't say it in those words, but that's how I took it.
I was more so. It was for honestly, I wasn't doing much in Sad season. I was more so just like realizing and then just reserving myself or synthesizing with whatever I was thinking and allowing myself to kind of wander off in that direction. That way, in this transit of Capricorn, I can now actually do shit and actually, take the next step. I see mutable energies as death energies. I chill out on mutable signs. Oh,
Bro,
I will say I make art through them, but like that's an introverted thing. Not an introverted thing. That's like something I do in my house. Is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, I see immutable as like a time to just like bring hella shit and then refining that as you're bringing shit in type of shit.
Yeah. No, I
Cause
feel
like
you. I feel you.
I was thinking like Sag season was whenever like we were like testing out the muscles that we got from like whatever is like the new body that we produce during Scorpio season, like the new
Yeah.
fleshing out or like new like perspective or like intention to like do things. Like Sag season, we're just like testing that muscle, which I could see that prevalent in what you said about like synthesizing information and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
getting new perspectives based upon it. I say that's like testing out the muscle as well. Or just like
Yeah. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I definitely said it more in like a purely subtractive manner. But I feel like that's what I was. I just didn't add on nothing. Like I already been in my habits. I've already been in like you said, I already had the new body type of shit. So for me it wasn't just me personally, it wasn't necessarily doing more. It was more about like why am I getting the results through what I have been doing? And then kind of like making more introverted adjustments or more journeyman adjustments, even if it's not necessarily introverted. I say that, yeah, I'm working a job that's public as fuck right now. So I'm making more public interactions than normal and I'm being more present for those public interactions. But that's what I mean is I allowed myself to go further in one direction just to see what was the reality of it and what isn't the reality of it. And then, you know, um, keep your armor on when you're in Rome. But that's all I'm gonna say on that piece. But I mean, I also peeped the moon is on Medusa,
that's for
right?
right now.
No, this one right here, December 13th. The 26th degree is Algo.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Let's see the degree I got my Saturn on.
you lose your head.
So that moon was on my Saturn. That moon was conjunct my Saturn when I made the piece of art. So I wanted to make reality in front of me that I could experience sixth house, seventh house kind of cusp. But no, honestly, this was cool as fuck. I think this is a good ass idea, and I think we should do more of this. To be
No,
honest, to be honest, I almost wanted to change up what I was gonna show you as far as the song goes, and just make it something that's more esoteric. But at the same time, that's kind of what I meant by entendre, like trying to overlay what had occurred with the spiritual shit at the same time, and then move it forward. You know what I mean?
but I
Like,
feel like you could do that with like anything though.
oh,
Like,
you can. What you were about to say? Like specific examples?
no, I wasn't gonna say nothing. I was just
Yeah, no, I mean you could do that with many different art forms, but it's more in the sense of like some people will rap in a a futuristic projecting way, like I want to do this or I'm gonna be in a fat, you know what I mean? Or they'll do it in a more introspective spirit. What I'm saying is like in the actual events that occurred, um, I'm reacting and responding emotionally and fluctuating my voice in a certain way, or at least I'm trying to. It might not be the best way. And no, I'm not thinking this in the meantime, but this is shit that I reflect on and then it goes into the music kind of thing, you know what I mean? But I'm doing that, not necessarily thinking about the spirituality. I'm trusting in the truth of the situation because that will reflect the spirituality. So it's like encountered. It's like how the Bible is written. And I'm not saying that's how the Bible is written, but you know what I mean by how you read it, how you read the Bible, and you read it through the allegory. Like I'm finding the allegories and what actually happened, and I'm juxtaposing that emotion into why was I in that situation? You know what I mean?
Instead of giving just the allegory up front.
Right. Instead of trying to make a new allegory or yeah, comparisons and similes and shit. That's to me, that's what storytelling is. That's what it means to me.
Low key, that's like how they say like in movies, like the dialogue isn't necessarily like what you look at to like see the story progress. It's like the characters like body movements and shit. So like
Yeah,
as you give like that feeling, that's like the body movement, the character, the motion of like whatever is like the allegory at play. So it's like
right.
really like giving like a panoramic view of shit. Yeah, that's kind of hard, bro.
No, real shit, real shit. I mean, you can keep. You're teaching me some shit right now.
Bro, cause
I
like
get what you're fucking saying though.
yeah, cause like I just be seeing shit like cause I be drawing and shit. So it's like I'll see like movements and like images of shit. So it's like more so about like just like something being in motion and like what is that emotion like tied to like in a feeling sense. So it's
This
like
is
being able to like see shit like that.
this is Capricorn, the Cancer spectrum you're talking about, because Capricorn is doing shit. Like it's taking action. That's like the energy we're in right now. Is what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Because then Capricorn would be good at like protection like the Cancer would, but more so like based upon like seeing the shit in reality as opposed to the Cancer
Right.
just like feeling the vibe of it.
Yeah, right. Like they don't. Neither of them are really even gonna talk too much once they already feel away. Like if they do talk, it's like it's a sake of the status or a sake of, keeping the peace or well, I work with this person. Like it'll literally be like some. That's like the shape that their spirit took to like tell that low thought like chill out. We have work to do or some shit. They're like body lazy, real shit, real
Why I do
shit.
that motion naturally, bro? Is it am I talking to Shago like that, bro?
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. This is what I think, at least. This is
For
what I
the
think.
viewers, if you don't know, I'm a Cancer, and I got Cancer North Node and Capricorn South Node, bro. And hella shit in the fourth and 10th house axis, bro. Because it's like about like a
I know a
testing for like
cancer
what
that act
is
like that.
type of shit. Really, like
You said what?
it's like a testing for what is, and just like taking like into account like what is, and just being like, okay, this is where we're at with shit. So like, all right, this is what we have to build with. So it's like making do with like what it is that you got type of shit.
Really? That's what leads into Aquarius and Leo. The the picture and the framework. Aquarius is like the arrangement of the individual events, and Leo is the arrangement of the independent emotions. More, or I guess the expression of the independent emotion. Like, what does that womb create? What does that womb look like? And then Aquarius is like, well, what happened? Like Capricorn is what happened, and Aquarius is like, okay, well, what did that do? What happened with it though?
That's crazy, bro. That's like how like bodies are making shit. Like
Hmm.
the Saturn crystallization aspect of it, the Aquarius, and then once that shit like crystallizes and like forms into play, boom, you get the sun, the Leo, the expression, you get the moon, shit like that.
That's
Like,
why that's why I be teaching intrinsic astrology.
shouts out the course. Bro, did Jackie do her lesson on tracking cycles already or not?
Mm-mm.
Shit, I'm about to hit Dave up because I saw her video she posted talking about that. I'm gonna sign up for that class for sure.
Hell yeah, bro. Don't honestly, I don't want to sound like I'm it's like just being like a shameless plug per se, but genuinely off of just the first episode, Shine had us make paintings. and was talking to us about color spectrums. You know how I be breaking down the cycles, right? Like Aries is a thought, yada yada yada. Which, by the way, bro, my course is so cold. I talk about how why each planet is derived out that same train of thought that I do. I just took time to add in like that's why this planet is associated with here and has this relationship with here and with here is because when you're in this KPI, you don't have this KPI. And that, you know what I mean? Like, duh, that just to put it in like a specific framework or a specific language. But on that note, each class is just gonna be like individualized and it is fucked. Like Shine went and took that same process or procedure that I was doing with the signs and how that progresses, and she did that in colors and told you like gave you examples of how her mind perceives explaining or putting words to or poetically framing the transition of feelings through the use of color and comparison. So the
Yeah,
cycle, but through color. You know what I mean?
that's hard.
It was hard as fuck. So that's why I was. I don't know. I don't know how much they're charging for the class. I forgot what they've set it to.
I think it's
But
like 15 per, and then whatever was for like the whole course. It was like 60, maybe. No.
mm, no,
That
that's
was
my
like
two cents.
how you said Shine was doing that with the colors, and then is like basically or almost like the same process of like the intrinsic astrology shit. That's like, bro, that's what we all do as like fucking spirits and shit, just like make maps and like fucking
Right, right.
reach out our perspective and shit, and just like, oh, cool, that's what you do. Oh, cool, and then like, and then you go do your own thing, and then other people come to your show. So it's like, that's really it, bro. Like that's fucking it.
We're the multiverse, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on, hold on. This is what we or what I made on that day.
I'm getting like a garden and with like a pond in it, like a almost like an oasis type of feeling.
I like that. That's kind of how this feels to me too, like a spring to summer, kind of like Gemini to Cancer.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Avatar, the one that's like the animated one that was on Nickelodeon?
Oh yeah, the whole shit before Korra.
Yeah. Did
Yeah,
you see that episode where it was talking about or where they showed it was like the two fish that was representative of like the moon spirit and
right.
like they had like that little pond and like sanctuary type of space?
Right. That's
That's
where
what
that's
really
at.
reminded
That's
me
where
of.
that's at. Yeah, that's where that's
Yeah.
at. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. They're my neighbors and shit. Shout out.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny. Hey Monty, chill out, cousin. Go lay down. So that's my dog. But yeah, bro. This was great. I think we should do this say next week. See if we get this on a weekly basis. If not, no tripping. But I mean we're making art. I'm making art, you're making art,
Yeah.
making remarks. And plus I do think it's a time to just I mean we've been saying this, but this is the time to just do your shit. It always is a time to do your shit, but there's no point not to do it with like-minded individuals and create these different orbs, create these different places that are able to create new types of connections to people and connections to humanity. You know what I mean? Like, aka you and I might collab on TonOfVision, right? AJ Evolution, you probably gonna call your rapper the same name as your artist, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you might put out certain projects that have nothing to do with the shit that I even know you as, but you still wanted to address. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. We might as well just choose whatever those things are in us, like aka the spiritual side, the artistic side, and just be in those spaces. That's how I see the shit, at least. But and at that point too, I also realized not even to force shit like this. Fuck it, whoever rock with you. Whoever don't make shit with you. Sometimes that's because y'all are in different spaces and you're supposed to get a ripple effect. There's like there's a lack of characters in between that still need to be raised to give proper context to why y'all two are not understanding. And that only happens when y'all two give each other enough space and respect and go live your own separate ways. And then as we all rise up, the middle is going to rise up and be like the diplomat, the bridge that, you know what I mean, connects it. Because they're going to be the person that sees both sides. But that's why shit is never that serious. Shit never got to resolve in like violence and death and shit like that. It is, I do understand why some people take it there is because they feel that they're recognizing body language that is going to lead to that conclusion or that outcome or to somebody getting hurt. But we just gotta be intelligent, bro. as people, like body language wise. Like that's kind of what we were talking about, is just trusting what the fuck you actually feel and knowing what the fuck is good for you. Like it's not even good for you to really antagonize people because you're gonna have blood on your hands. You're gonna know you have blood on your hands. And now again, some people need to be antagonized when they swing first, kind of thing. But that's where Jupiter come in, show some mercy. I'm not saying to not do it. I'm just saying like
Have a
learn.
sternness of what it is you want to be projected in your future.
And then at that point, I'd say that's why I don't. That's why I'm not shooting my local governor. That's why I'm not into shit like that. That's what you know what I mean. That's why I'm not. I don't know. You might have to censor that. We might get flagged for that. I don't know, but that's why I'm not into riots and shit like that. Is because at the same time we all are making the byproduct of this. The problem is that we're all on some one up dumbass energy of like, oh they wait till they see this type of shit, and then now you're waiting. And there's some people that don't have to wait, and those people are who are ruling shit. They got real currency. You know what I mean? And so you realize that your systemic issues. That's my point. We got to talk about it. Don't just say it like it's a diffusion to the actual conversation. You know what I mean? Oh, systemic issues, bro. Oh, okay. Well, who in your life doesn't? Who in your life behaves like they don't know that that's a thing? And that's who those conversations are had with. And then when we get into moments where we realize, well, shit, my job is like that, and I gotta eat. I can't get fired. Well, okay, then you need to go be in your peer groups and reflecting on your fucking circumstances with your peer groups, not allowing yourself to get isolated as a fucking grown up weirdo.
Yeah, I think
That
that's just like a lack of like accountability and growth energy. 'Cause what you was
right?
describing with like the it's systemic, okay, type
Yeah,
of
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
That's like I don't know, I see that as somebody that's like maybe they got like whooped when they was a kid and they come to grips with that. So it's like, oh okay, type of shit. It's not like a
Yeah,
no type of like logical understanding of like what goes on. So like they don't necessarily produce a type of a thought that like will take them somewhere. It's like, oh okay, type of
yeah,
shit. Like
real shit. And that's sometimes I be thinking people like that. That's why I say like there's always there's like a transition where you have to stop talking about it and doing shit at the same time. And once that doing shit gets to a certain level, technology gaps, classes start to get developed. You get what I mean? Like sediments arise. Who's been spinning this type of cycle in this pedigree for this amount of time? And then as the cycle progresses, the shift hits, it's unearthed that way. You get what I mean? So
no, I'm processing that.
you get what I mean? The visual at least. I
Like in
kind
terms
of
of like coming down like 4D to 3D type of shit. Like on a concept level, like people is pushing out a certain something, and then like you just like go along with it in like the 3D spectrum, or like
God damn it. I forgot the fucking initial words that I said. I'm trying to remember. I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But I'm like, is that what I was saying? I don't think it was, but then I'm like, well, damn, what the fuck was I saying? I'm sorry. That was unacceptable. Too much weed.
no,
Too high. I swear to God. But
maybe it
what
was
was I
on me for
saying?
not like picking up what you was putting down.
Nah, nah, nah. What was I saying though? Do you at least remember the words I was saying? I was saying some shit like talking about fuck.
Like it's like a you didn't say pedigree, but like maybe you did,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
like a
yeah,
level
yeah.
shit, like what
Yeah,
people have
yeah.
been kicking out in a certain level,
Cause,
and
cause, cause we all have the same cycles. So if a motherfucker is hanging out in a super dense cycle or a super dense level, then when time occurs, when that Saturn cycle moves on or whatever the fuck, by the time it's circled out, if you haven't expanded outside of that definition, you know what I mean? When that part turns solid from the core, you know what I mean? Then you're now having more perceived weight. You're in Pluto land now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And now Neptune and Uranus are your tools to get out of Pluto. Like dreaming and rekindling to the emotions that you thought you had and realize, well, fuck, what did I have though? The Uranus side of it. And then show your ass sometimes. Burn some shit down sometimes. You know what I mean? Like for the sake of getting back to outside of the surface, outside of being the sun. If you're a man, being the moon if you're a woman, and not being lost in these deeper cycles and these deeper transits. Those shits should be like tools in your belt that make you feel strapped up and prepared because you know what your current energy is. You should still be embodying those primordial energies, the really not even the sun or the moon. Like those aren't even you. It's the spirit that's using these things and choosing where they want to animate that shit. I decide what Sag is. If Sag is really Sag and that shit's real, and I don't allow myself to succumb to any, well, Xavier, you should do this because you're a Sag, and it's not actually rooted in some real bodily apparatus that I've connected to as like a source. Fuck, I was just saying something. God damn it. God damn it. I was talking about a Sag bodily apparatus. Oh, if I get out of all those places and I still go and expand and I use that as my lexicon or my code, astrology should still ring true. I should be expanding now what it means to represent that energy. And since I'm doing it from the sincere position in my own energy, this is where you hear fucking people like Flight Boss talk about there's people playing Saturn, there's people playing Zeus, there's people playing Pluto. It's they're in the natural energies of what we just call those things, and they're actually just doing it. So that's like again what my song was. It was walk and talk at the same time. My favorite line on there was "Eat up the seas, get a drink quick with." I'm getting lost on grapevines. Hey, oh, and then I like AKA don't get lost on the little subsidiary doors you can go down just because you're lit off of whatever the fuck room you just stepped into. And then the other part was um. Change, she said, can you walk and talk at the same time? Change minds without having to blast the last grapevine. Like, ain't not having to find somebody to pin the tail on, not having to find somebody to step off of or push off of. I mean, I know energy kind of feel like that sometimes, but that's where you, I don't know, I'd be just owning it. I'd be creating the imagery or creating the shape and explaining what the fuck it was, or just letting people who really started that shit, let them be. They want to be the reppers or the prime users of that energy. So let me bow out gracefully. This ain't my race, anyways. And that's on the more negative characteristics that you feel you absorb from your environment, as opposed to what you're actually wishing to see in your environment.
That sounds like a Virgo space to me.
That's my second house, bro. We're coming down, and I'm low key partially a Virgo rising. I'm a 19-degree Leo, so I got a decent orb of
Also, you got some Virgo in your first house.
yeah, but that's it. No placement. Virgo and Scorpio are the only places I don't have energies in. And Pisces. Actually, Scorpio I have asteroids in. It's just Pisces and Virgo, that axis. I have no placements. But I haven't spent a lot of time reading my own chart in all honesty. I've probably only done it like a handful of times.
Kind of weird that that happens though, because I'm in the same boat. Like, but there have been times like I'll just like be thinking about it, but not necessarily like sit down and write some shit out of like what the fuck it is that I think. But I don't know. I think that's like it's some type of play with some shit. Or just like, well, I already know me type of shit. Like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, but we're not doing this for we are the thing. We know that now in astrology. We know that now that we are the thing. And that's why we utilize this shit as the journalism that mathematically keeps our perspectives in alignment of what we know, you know? So on that note, I'm gonna read my own shit. That's gonna be my homework before we talk next. I wanna have my own shit down pat. Because I think that's like the part of you actually, what's the point of knowing astrology then? I mean, I get it. It's bringing a lot of energy to the current moment. And I do this too. But that's where I started thinking, like, is this not Lucifer seated? AKA, is this not me trying to have everything perfect in this current moment? And so I'm still flodgy on the things that I should be participating with. You know what I mean? One foot in, one foot out. And I do believe in how you do anything is how you do everything. So. But that's my perspective. I know you might have. I don't know. I was gonna say you might have done more research than me in astrology, but it don't even need to be viewed like that because I did my own journalism for a while too. So it's like we both got our tenureship. So I don't know. I think it's kind of like a permission slip for me, like not needing that energy, not needing no permission to approve it. I wrote it down somewhere. As a matter of fact, I was talking about this. Sorry to stretch this thought out so long, but I want to give it a proper conclusion. I was thinking about it like in the sense of, do you believe in this shit or not? Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, if you believe in it, then just look at it. What's gonna happen if you look at it? You know what I mean? You're gonna fuck it up, or you're gonna drop it. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it comes to like how well you're able to like pinpoint it, like whatever like types of thought trains you would come up with when looking at a chart to like your real life and shit. So it's like,
exactly. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying is we're using it to organize shit that we already know. So this is just for mathematics, and this is just for the long story. The long story short answer of what I'm asking is gonna be you only do it out of an ego because you still want to identify as a certain level of thoughts that you're actually above, actually beyond. Not necessarily with this, but I'm saying like that's what that train of thought, the justification that I use to not do it. That's what that feels like. I'm not saying that everyone needs to be reading their own birth chart, which don't get me wrong. I do think everyone needs to read their own birth chart. Like you need to at least know what the fuck a birth chart is. Like we should know how to read that. But I digress. What I'm saying though is the part of me that makes that excuse is in that like no credibility. You know what I mean? It's like that person who's still scared of opportunity cost, like the kid that doesn't want to grow up because then you become something. You know what I mean? Because we change this shit all the time.
yeah, I think it's like now I'm thinking about it, it's like a every now and then type of thing to like go back and look at your own chart to do like a
That's what I
trajectory
just
point
thought.
of like where you want to be going. Because I think the last time I read my own chart, it was like during Scorpio season. But because it's like just naturally like even whenever you read somebody else's chart, it's like you pick up on the shit that's like kind of current to whatever it is that you're experiencing in life type of shit. So, like the things that I picked up on at first when I was looking at my chart, it was like shit that was prevalent like in my life at the time. And I only did like a couple aspects, but those couple aspects was shit I needed to work on. So like, oh, okay, so I,
That's why you saw that type of shit. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's basically tarot. Like the shit is the same thing, just a different organ doing it,
real shit.
or a different part, a different micro organ passing the ball. We got a whole amoeba up here. But yeah, bro, I think
Hey,
I'm gonna go take this energy and apply it somewhere. I'm sick, so I probably won't make a song. I probably think I'm gonna do that birth chart reading for myself.
hell yeah.
And if anyone watching this shit needs a reading, tap in with us. I know that's kind of like disheartening because you're like, bro, you don't even read your own reading, your own chart. But I do read the day-to-day transits, and I know what the fuck my own chart is. I'm more so am looking at it through the filtration of a student first is what I was going through. So I was more so just looking at the energy as, okay, well, if this is this, what am I feeling? What does this mean when this thing is here? What does this mean when this thing is here? And so that's why I went through the day to day, or even week to week or month to month astrological calendar versus going straight into my birth chart, which obviously that's the first thing I did. The first thing I did was spend weeks and days reading what each alignment I have and what each degree and all that shit. And
Yeah,
I wrote down the alignments, but at that time I was too green. I didn't know what that shit actually meant. I didn't actually take the patience enough or make a connection enough to realize what I was actually working with as far as the symbolism goes. So,
but shit, that's the path though, because I feel like that's true for like everybody that got into astrology.
yeah.
Because it's like the type of thing you just keep going back to in terms of like calibration and shit like that.
Right, right. That's why I like to record my readings for people. Is it's I want you to have this as a credibility check. Like, like if it was pure, even if I'm wrong, it should show traces of sincerity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But hell yeah, bro. I'm gonna go get busy. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, it was a good
Yeah,
time
good
having you
shit.
on for sure.
Yeah, yeah, it was good shit.
Hey, bro. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Peace.
Peace.